Hi guys, my name's Katia Bell. I, along with my sister, am the founder of Passion for Positive. It's a little group we have on Facebook and Instagram to kind of uplift people's days, raise awareness to mental illness, etc. The purpose for this video though is to talk a little bit about PTSD and CBT for PTSD. I was diagnosed with PTSD this year. I've been on the waiting list for about 8 months and I've just had my first session of CBT. So I wanted to kind of share with you guys each session I have, what sort of happens in that, you know, how I feel about it, just a step-by-step process, just so that people who might be a bit apprehensive about CBT have a bit of an idea about what it's like. I'm going to be completely open and honest about it, and hopefully it might help a few people to actually make that phone call or go ahead with it. PTSD, firstly, a lot of people associate it with when the war people, I can't think what they're called, the soldiers, bloody hell, sorry, it's one of those days, they come home from war and they've seen a lot of things and it stays with them and it traumatises them. Same can happen with things like any traumatic event in your life, and sometimes it takes a little bit more to get over that. So, you know, the symptoms of things like that could be having flashbacks, avoidance of certain places, avoiding thinking about it. There's lots of triggers that can set off those flashbacks, and sometimes it's just a bit harder when it's been a year or so and you're still, you know, struggling to sleep. You might have insomnia because of it, anxiety, all those sorts of things. Then CBT might be something that can help you. When I went for CBT, I couldn't actually tell the doctor what had happened to me. I didn't know how to voice it. I just knew I needed some help. So I, in the end, self-certed. They gave me a form just to fill out. Didn't need to fill in much detail. And I had a phone call and they asked me more about my symptoms rather than what happened to me. I briefly explained, but I didn't have to go into detail. So that was a lot more comfortable for me. So if anyone is thinking about, you know, they want to go and get help for it, but they're scared of sitting in a doctor's, which can be quite daunting. It was for me, because I just thought people come here for coughs and colds, and I'm sat here because something really traumatic and personal happened. Don't want to discuss that with him, really. The self-referral was really good for that. So that's an IAPT form. If you just Google that, you can do it online, I believe. So yeah, it finally came through. I'm just going to pop this here. It's not very good writing whatever they will do. So I've got a little folder just because I like to keep things in a certain place. So when I went in, first of all she just asked me, and this is when I had to go into detail, not just about what happened to me, but she asked me about my whole life. It was a 50-minute session and it was just her asking questions from the age of when I was born to hear bit by bit what's happened in my life to bring me to this point. Specifically really around what had happened to me, but then she also went a lot far back. So there was a few sheets of paper, as you could imagine, with details about my life and what have you. She didn't necessarily tell me the purpose of that, but from what I can gather, she just wants to see the full picture, to see what is going on in my thoughts. And then she gave me a bit of homework. She gave me one of these sheets. I don't know if you can see that. What it is, I think the whole thing of CBT is that you have thoughts and they affect your moods, then they affect your behaviours, and the way of getting around that is to focus on your thoughts and how we can change those. So I've not got to that bit yet. At the minute I'm keeping a thought diary of when I've had a flashback, what's triggered it. So we've got here the situation, so I'd write down the situation, when, where, who with, what happened, how, of when that happened, the thoughts that went through my head, what images, what did they say or mean about me. So I would write about the flashbacks I'd have, or just the thoughts, moods and emotions, how I felt about it, what emotions they brought up, physical sensations, my heart racing, unable to sleep, etc., behaviours, what did I do? I might have avoided a certain thing or gone home. I managed to do 3 of those sheets, and this is the part where I'm going to be really honest with you. It was the hardest thing. I was in floods of tears, because when you've been through something like that, especially for, you know, PTSD, I have done this for my anxiety and depression before, but it's completely different, because I had to sit and write down how I thought about what had happened to me, how I felt emotionally, everything, because you relive everything in that flashback. You can literally smell things sometimes. That was really difficult for me. But what I will say is, you know, I sat down after that and I thought, you know what, that was really hard, but it's on paper now. Everything is down. Everything is there. I've gone into the intimate, you know, parts and bare bones of what I'm going through. So it's there, and it's on a piece of paper for a reason. So it will be dealt with. And that's kind of what pushed me for it. It was a bit of a relief. It was hard to do, I'm not going to lie. I really did struggle, but I did it. And my next therapy session is tomorrow. So I'll be excited to see really what goes on with that. And I will keep you guys updated. She also asked me to download Headspace and do Jim White stress audio, belly breathing and deep relaxation. So I think the thing that I kind of did a bit wrong here is that I did those sheets before I started doing that. And because I've done those sheets, it's kind of, because it was such a hard process, because I was quite overwhelmed by it, I'd say, I haven't done that yet. I will do it. I'll speak to my therapist about it tomorrow. But being completely honest, that first bit overwhelmed me, so I've kind of pushed it to the back front at the minute. But next CBT session is tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know how it's gone. I hope that this has started to help some of you. I will upload every week, just to let everyone know the process of it. You know, if anyone's a bit weary about it, I'll let you know how I get on. It might work for me, it might not. It did with my depression and anxiety, so I'm quite optimistic about it. So yeah, if you want to follow Passion for Positive on Instagram, feel free. It's just at passion4positive. Or if you want to join our Facebook group, it's the same thing. We'll let you in. The more the merrier. Equally, if you want to ask me any questions, or if you just need someone to talk to, feel free to send a message. I hope you're all good, guys. Have a great week. I'll keep you updated. Wish me luck.